Are you loving your children equally?
Welcome to Parenting Matters Now, a source of parenting advice a few minutes at a time.
Hi, this is Dr. Roger Smith with Parenting Matters Now. Equality is of great value in our world today, and I want to tell you that if you're loving your children equally, you may be making a mistake. Because sometimes when we think of equality or loving our children equally, we think of loving them the same way. And so this lesson gets a little bit personal to me because in my relationships with my children and with my grandchildren, I am seeking to love each one of them in the very best way for them. And it's different from one person to the next. So let me explain. There are lots of different factors that go into a relationship, and a lot of this is just simple common sense. And when you stop and think about relationships in your life, the different people you respond to differently naturally, just because the relationship is different, because their personality interfaces with yours differently. So as it relates to our children, there are some tools to help us to learn how we can love our children best. And one that I love is the five love languages of children. You know, it was written originally for adult relationships, but there's a parent-child relationship, so you can understand how each of your children receive the message of "I love you" most effectively. And in there's five basic ways of communicating love. It's simply a tool of evaluating what does your child need from you? What does your grandchild need from you? There are personality books. My favorite one on personalities that's very simple is written by Florence Littauer, and it's Personality Plus, is the title of it. It gives another way of evaluating how your children respond to different situations, and therefore how you can respond differently to them in those situations. So there's a lot of tools to help us to understand each child. And so as it comes to my life, I look at my children and I seek to respond to them in a way that it fits the relationship best. It's not being manipulative. It is just being effective, being efficient. And so the more we understand about each person, the better we can respond to them. So a child that is very sensitive, emotionally sensitive, I would handle that person altogether different than one that's just they got a tough shell on the outside. They're tough through and through, and nothing bothers them. They seem to be more factual in their approach, and so sometimes they need a more direct or harsher or more drastic type of correction than the child that you look at and they just melt whenever you look at them in a disapproving way. And so it will affect that the makeup of each child will affect how we correct them, how we encourage them, how we make them feel special, all of those things. So some need much more time than others. They all need your time. But some need much more quiet time, others more active time. And so the more you understand about personality traits, the more you learn about giftings, the more you learn about difficulties, it'll change you. So this is where it gets a little bit personal. Whenever a child has difficulty, they have difficulty in learning, or they have difficulty in expressing or controlling their emotions, or a child has difficulty in, let's say, can't has difficulty sleeping. There are challenges that affect the relationship, and sometimes we want them to just get over their difficulties. And in those situations that when we step back from them, there are we see things that they cannot control as part of who they are. And we might get frustrated by them, but we need to control those frustrations ourselves. And in that improves the relationship where we understand someone's giftings, their strengths, their weaknesses, and sometimes even their what we refer to as disabilities. Disabilities are not always disabilities or problems. They sometimes are special abilities, and I have other lessons on that. But um, all of those things affect how we love our children, how we communicate our love for our children. And so equality is overrated. Individuality is what you need with your parent-child relationship. Know each child and respond to them as they need you to help them grow, help them to feel loved, and to help them to express love themselves. This is Dr. Roger Smith with Parenting Matters Now.
Subscribe to Parenting Matters Now for more advice, or go to rogersmithmd.com to search for more topics. See you next time.